So this is a story that Donald told me, I guess about 2 years ago.
The story of Swamp Monster Sunday.
Swamp Monster.
Swamp Monster Sunday.
Swamp Monster.
I never believed it.
At the time, I found it very hard to believe.
Until I met his brother Mickey, and I asked him, and he was like, yes, it actually happened, it's true.
When Donald was a little kid,
He was around 9 or 10 years old.
He
and his brother started attending
this church. It was a Baptist church.
A Baptist church.
It kind of sounds like a cult to me.
It sounded to me at the time like it was more of a cult than a church.
So
a big blue bus,
a big yellow bus would come.
And then they came door to door asking if he'd like to go. And he and his brother decided to go.
So they would get on the bus.
And his parents didn't seem to mind.
I don't think they forced them to go. I think he told me they really wanted to go.
So he goes and gets on this church bus.
So every Sunday
before Halloween,
they would have something called Swamp Monster Sunday.
I guess they have it once a year. It's Swamp Monster Sunday.
On this particular Sunday, it would start out like any other, Sunday, going to church.
Anyway, they all pile on the bus, all group of these cult children.
When the kids are on the bus coming from Sunday school,
the way back from the service, they would sort of take them on like a detour, I guess.
They get to like this certain point on the bus ride.
And they drive over this bridge area.
By this swamp. And when they got to that part, the bus would stop.
It would come to a complete stop.
And just as they get to the bridge,
all the kids would try to figure out what was going on, and they'd look out the windows.
And pretty soon they would see
some rustling in the bushes and what was going on.
A creature.
This sick guy.
A person dressed up as a monster.
This person dressed up as a swamp monster.
Out would come one of the pastors, because he had his tie on, he had his pants and his suit.
It was really one of the pastors dressed up in a costume.
And he comes walking out of the water, all dressed up like a swamp monster, however a swamp monster would look.
Jumps out of the bushes.
He would come out of the water and go up to the bus.
And he'd run around the bus, start banging on it.
And he's yelling and screaming.
He'd climb onto the hood, and sometimes he'd get on the roof and he'd start banging on that and basically scare the hell out of the kids.
Scares the piss out of the kids.
And then when he was done, he'd climb back down and he would pry open the doors
and kidnap one of the kids.
And then he gets on the bus and he grabs the kid and he takes him off the bus.
And tie him up, which...
At this point, I didn't know if I should believe him or not.
It seems like if the parents knew about this, they wouldn't be that happy about it or approve of it.
It just kind of verified the fact that it sounds more like a cult than anything else to me.
So they would tie the kid up and then drag him out to the swamp, and
the adult members of the congregation,
one of the other adults supervising the whole thing,
would come out and they'd grab a broom, and then they'd grab some rope that was conveniently at the front of the bus.
And just save the kid and untie them.
And they'd start beating him, and when they were done, they'd tie him up with the rope.
Everyone on the bus would celebrate.
And everyone would start cheering and so happy because they saved the day. And basically they'd leave the swamp monster there for the pastor for dead.
So they get to the church.
So then the next Sunday,
then the following Sunday,
they would always have a follow-up on it.
During the service,
And all the kids would be sitting in the first rows.
They would be waiting for the pastor to come out
and I don't know, I think it's Brother John.
And so Brother Don, beforehand, he would put on the swamp monster glove.
The hand of the swamp monster, and it would just sort of...
And he would take his hand.
The hand would just sort of come out around
and he'd wrap it around the door.
The wall or whatever.
And all the kids would start, oh!
And everyone would gasp
and then he'd go, oh, no, no, no. He'd walk through the doors and he'd come out saying, I'm just kidding, kids.
Everyone would be like, oh, it's just the pastor, it's not the swamp monster.
And he'd explain to them that swamp monster wasn't a real thing and it was just for fun, and he hopes they didn't take it seriously. My church never did that, but apparently Donald's church did.
And I think that was the end.
That's as much as I really remember.
That's the greatest part I remember.
That was it. And so that was Swamp Monster Sunday.